To Saturday Sanga. Hare Krishna. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And happy Saturday, day before Easter. Om Aganana-timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tang Sajipam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine vāñcākalpataru yascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. He Krishna karuna sindhu dinabandho jagatpate gopesha gopika kanta radha kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We have some more Panchatattva mantras here. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. I offer my obeisance unto the Supreme Lord, Krishna, who is non-different from his features as a devotee, devotional incarnation, devotional manifestation, pure devotee, and devotional energy. And here's a prayer to Srivas Thakura. Jaya Jaya Shivasadi Jatta Bhaktagan Pranata Hayya Bandon Shobharacharan. Let me offer my respectful obeisance unto Srivas Thakura and all the other devotees of the Lord. I fall down to offer them respect. I worship their lotus feet. That's from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 8, verse 4. And there are 2 verses. These are not Sanskrit verses, Bengali, for Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Panditadi Prabhu Nija Shakti Tang Shobara Charani Mora Sahasra Pranati. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the internal potencies of the Lord, of whom Shri Gadadhar Prabhu is the foremost. Bora Shaka Gadadhar Pandita Gosai Teho Lakshmi Rupa tā'ra Shamakehonai. Gadadhar Pandit, the 4th branch of the tree of Lord Chaitanya, is described as an incarnation of the pleasure potency of Sri Krishna. No one, therefore, can equal him. Lakshmi Rupa. And there's also prayer to Advaita Charya, 2 prayers. Jaya Jaya Advaita Chandra Chaitanya Arja Shacharane Bhakti Deha Jaya Advaita Charya. All glories to Advaita Acharya, who is treated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a superior due to his age and respectability. Please give me engagement in devotional service at your lotus feet. Well, some of what's there in the translation we won't directly find in the Bengali, but that's okay. Chaitanya Arja. Oh, I see. He's giving Arya as superior. Advaitam Harinadvaitad Acharyam Bhakti Shanksanad Bhaktavataram Ishanktam Advaita Charyam Ashraye. Because he is non-different from Hari, he is called Advaita. Because Advaita means non-dual, not two, so he is the same, non-different from Hari. And because he propagates the cult of devotion, he is called Acharya. He is the Lord and the incarnation of the Lord's devotee. Bhakti Shamsanat. Oh, I see. Acharyam Bhakti Shangsanat. So this Shangsanat, that's the, you see the long A and then T, Shangsanat. So that indicates it's what's called the ablative case in English. And that means one way, or very often, this is used as a way of explaining. So because he is Bhakti Shangsana, what means Shangsana? Well, here it's translated as propagating. So because he propagates bhakti, Acharyam, he is called Acharya. So that's nice. Bhakta avataram ishamtam. He is the Lord and the incarnation of the Lord's devotee. Therefore, Advaitacharyam ashraye. I take shelter of Advaitacharya. And we have prayers for Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda maham nomi sarvananda karang param harinama pradang devam avaduta shiromanim. I bow down to the Supreme Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who is the awarder, the one who awards of the highest joy to all. Sarva Ananda Kara. He is the doer of, the maker of Ananda for everyone. The highest joy, Param Ananda. He is the bestower of the holy name, Hari Nama Pradam. Pradam, bestower, one who gives. Hari Nama Pradam, Devam. And Avaduta Shiromani, he is the Shiromani, the crest jewel of the Avadutas, of the mendicants. Yeah. And there's prayer to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are many prayers to Mahaprabhu. Okay, you all know this one. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who is more magnanimous than any other avatara. Vadanya means magnanimity, Maha Vadanya. Even Krishna himself, more magnanimous than Krishna himself. Why? Because he bestows freely what no one else has ever given, pure love of Krishna, Krishna Prema Prada. So we had Harinama Prada, Nityananda Prabhu, one of his names is Harinama Prada. And one of the names of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna Prema Prada. Okay, this translation doesn't mention Gora Tvishe, he whose complexion is Gora. So, Shri Panchatattva ki jai. Okay. So, shall we proceed with some Bhaktivinoda Thakur meditation? Let's see. Okay. Let me start with getting it here. Then move over there. Yes. Okay. All right. Today we have Kalyana, Kalpataru, Ucchvasa Kirtan, Guna Kirtan, song number 2. Right, we had, what was song number 1? That was one which began Bahirmukha hoje, mayare, bajiye, shongshare hoinu, ragi. Krishna doyamoy, prapancha udoy, hoilo amar lagi. And that song, you may remember, he's in the mood of a Saki. He says, Saki hey, and then later he says, Bajo Saki Abhirata, my dear girlfriend, just worship such a jewel like Krishna with special care and attention. Now Bhaktivinoda admits that he is helplessly bound up to the wonderful qualities of Sri Krishna's lotus feet. Thus, I always bow my head in great awe and reverence before those divine feet. And in today's song, he says, Suno, hey Rasikajana, Krishna Guna Aganana, ananta kahite nāhi pāre. Krishna jagatera guru, Krishna vāñcākalpataru, nāvika bhava-pārābāre. Listen to this, O wise relishers of mellows. Rasikajana. The transcendental qualities of Sri Krishna are innumerable. Krishna Guna Aganana. So Ganana means counting, and Aganana not counting, not countable. Ananta kahite nāhi pāre. It is not possible to describe such unlimited divine attributes. Literally, one cannot go beyond or nāhi pāre. I think is like crossing over, cannot cross over the unlimited qualities of gunas of the Lord, cannot speak them, kahite. Krishna is the spiritual master of the entire universe, Krishna jagatera guru. Vāñcākalpataru, he is like a wish-fulfilling desire tree. And he is the helmsman, nāvika, of the boat on the ocean of material existence. So a boat is a nāvika, and I guess a boatsman, someone who guides the boat, is a nāvika. Say bhava-pārābāre. In crossing over bhava, this existence, material existence. Hridaya pirita jā'ra, krishna-kshetra tā'ra, bhava-roga nāshite chatura, krishna-bahirmukha jane, premamrita vitarane, krame loe nija anta pura. Krishna Chikitsaka. Krishna is just like a doctor for those whose hearts are ailing, who are suffering. Why? He is very expert at destroying the diseased condition of material existence. Bhava-roga nāshite chatur. Chatur is, I guess, expert. Nāshite, in destroying. Destroying what? Roga. Roga is disease, illness, and bhava, again, existence, meaning material existence. And then by distributing the nectar of ecstatic love to all the inimical souls. Bahirmukha jane, he's translating as inimical souls. Bahirmukha, those whose attention is directed away outward, whose face is turned outward. Premamrita vitarane, distributing vitarana. He gradually takes them back into his own confidential realm. Krame means gradually, step by step. Loy nija antapura. Loy is taking nija, his own, antapura, his inner, the inner place or the inner city, antapura, the heart. Then karmma-bandha, jñāna-bandha, aveshe, manava-anda, tā'ra krishna karuna sagara, pada padma, madhudiya, andabhav, ucchvasa, chorane korena anuchar. Krishna is an ocean of compassion, Krishna karuna sagara, for those who are bound up in fruitive actions, karmma-bandha, as well as for those bound up in philosophical speculation, jñāna-bandha, and for those blinded by other human perplexities, avesha manava anda. So aveshe, manava, human, and anda is darkness, blindness, and aveshe, being absorbed or being possessed. Tā'ra Krishna karuna sagara. Krishna is he's not just a small reservoir of karuna, no, he is sagara. He is an ocean of karuna. By where am I? Giving the honey of his lotus feet, and thus relieving the darkness of such worldliness, he makes one an attendant of his own feet. Parapadma madhu diya. So having given diya, the madhu, the nectar, the honey, what nectar? The padma of his lotus feet. Andabhava guchaya, relieving the darkness of such worldliness. Guchaya, relieving, having relieved. Andabhava, the mood of darkness, the condition of darkness. Chorane koren anuchar, he makes one an attendant of his own feet. Anuchar, chara, moving, but anuchar is moving behind, following, doing behind, doing and following. So charane koren anuchar, he makes koren an anuchar of his feet, at his feet, charane. That's nice. Charane koren anuchar. Then vidhi marg ratajane shadimata shadinata ratnadane raga marge karana pravesha. Raga boshabarti hoje parakiya bhava-pārābāre. Lobhe jiva krishna premavesha. when Krishna eventually bestows the jewel of independence unto those persons who are attached to the path of rules and regulations. So vidhi margarata jane, svadhinata, he's translating as independence. Ratnadane, the treasure of the jewel of independence. Thereby allowing them entrance into the path of spontaneous loving service. Ragamarge karana pravesha. Pravesha means entrance. Karana, causing, bestowing, giving, making. Raga vashabharti hoje. Becoming influenced by such spontaneity. Vasha has a sense of being forced, but here influence, raga vasha, varti. Remaining under the shelter of the mellows of unwedded love, parakiya bhav ashraye. So ashraye, in the shelter of the bhava of parakiya. So the sense of parakiya bhava, the relation between Radha and Krishna as being unmarried, literally parakiya, belonging to another or of another. Labhe jiva Krishna prema avesha. The soul finally attains all the symptoms of ecstatic love for Krishna. So prema avesha becomes absorbed in prema, Krishna prema. And then prema amritavadi dara shoda anarata tā'ra krishna-taha der bandhupati sheshav brajajana sukaljana niketana dina hina vinodera gati. Krishna is the dearmost friend and husband of those who are always attached to drink the fountain of ecstatic tears of love. Prema amritavadi dara, carrying the vadi, the fountain, sada panarata tā'ra, those who are drinking, panarata, I guess, is drinking, ecstatic tears. Krishna taha der, of that person, bandhupati, is the, well, it says husband, okay, friend and husband, bandhupati. Yes, bandhu can mean relative in general, I think. Shesha brajajana. Thus, the goal of this most fallen and lowly Bhaktivinoda is to be with all such residents of Braja, Shesha brajajana sakaljana niketana. Within the abode of the supreme auspiciousness. Niketana is abode. Niketana can mean a center, like the Oxford Center for Hindu Studies, Oxford Niketana. Kalyana, the very auspicious. Center community. Din hin vinoder gati. This is the gati, the goal of Vinoda, of Bhaktivinoda, who is dinahina, who is lowly and wretched. So Krishna is being compared to a doctor. Passion. He's an ocean of compassion. He gives the honey of his lotus feet. And this is interesting. In the fourth verse, he gives the jewel of independence. What was that? Vidimargrata jane sadhinata. Interesting. Okay, well. So let's try making this into music. Okay. Suno he Rasikajana Guna Aganana ananta kahite nāhi Suno he Rasikajana Krishna Guna Aganana ananta kahite nāhi Krishna jagatera Guna vāñcākalpataru nāvika bhava-pāre Krishna jagatera Guna vāñcākalpataru nāvika bhava-pāre Hridaya Kirti Jat krishna-kshetra avaroga nashite chatura Hridaya Kirti Jat krishna-kshetra avaroga nashite chatura Krishna bahir mukha jane prema-mrita vitarane ramelai nicha antaka Krishna bahir mukha jane prema-mrita. Let's try it. Krishna bahir mukha jane prema-mrita vitarane ramelai nicha antaka karmma-bandha jñāna-bandha aveshe manava-bandha tā'ra krishna-karuna saga karmma-bandha jñāna-bandha aveshe manava-bandha Hare Krishna Karuna Saga Padabhagna Madhuriya Andabhava Kuchaya Charane Karina Anucha Paramatma madhuriya andhabhava chaya charane harena anuchaya Vichimag Rata Jane Sadinata Ratna Dane Gamake Karun Pravesh Vichimag Rata Jane Sadinata Ratna Dane Ragamarge Karana Pravesh Ragavasa Bhakti Hoje Parakiya Bhavashe Lave Jiva Krishna Premave Ragavasa Bhakti Hoje Parakiya Bhavashe Lave Jiva Krishna Premave Vemamrita Varidhan Shadapana Ratata Krishnatana Dera Bandhu Parati Premamrita Varidhan Shadapana Ratata Krishnatana Dera Bandhu Parati krishna-kshetra Sukal-jana Niketana Hina Vinodera Bhakti Seshama Rajajana Sukal-jana Niketana Hina Vinodera Bhakti Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. One thing that strikes me about songs, there's seems like quite consistently he's expressing hope against hope, which is one of the characteristics of bhava, ashabandha, He's always describing himself as being in a condition of more or less hopelessness. In the case, he gives the vanita, the signature line, dina hina vinoder gati. We've been going through so many songs where he's saying in so many words, I'm a hopeless case, but I have hope. And not only hope, but some kind of confidence that Krishna is going to bless me and bring me to his nectarian lotus feet. In this case, in verse 2, we had krame loy nija antapure. Krame means step by step. And loy, taking or takes, nija antapure, into his inner palace, we might want to say. So it's interesting. He kind of juxtaposes this hopelessness and this hope against hope, as we say in English. This is in the context of describing the Lord's qualities, and he's saying the Lord has unlimited qualities, but it seems what he wants to emphasize is his compassion and his ability to uplift those who are in this material world. Andabhava guchaya charane korin anuchar. He relieves us of the darkness of this worldliness, makes one an attendant of his lotus feet. Who would like to be an attendant of the lotus feet of the Lord? Good. Anuchar. Good. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. So, again, welcome to all of you. Thank you all for coming. Let's see, who all do we have here? Many of you are here. Okay. I would go through all of your names, but there's so many of you. So I will ask you to be satisfied that you are appreciated for being with us. Okay, let's see. What's special about today? Well, in the Western calendar, I just heard this expression, Good Saturday. I know of Good Friday, but apparently there's also Good Saturday. And then tomorrow is Easter. So it's celebration of the, what they call in English, resurrection. Jesus, in effect, Jesus becomes Christus. He becomes the risen one, the anointed one. He's the one who is anointed as the Messiah, the Messiah. And why was that? Well, a lot of explanations in the Christian tradition. The Jewish tradition says, no. Say, no, he's not the Messiah. Messiah hasn't come yet. The Messiah is gonna really just deliver us all. And then the Christians say, well, he's gonna come again. He's come already and he's gonna come again. When is he gonna come? Well, yeah. I don't know if there's much talk about that in Christian circles now. But there's a sense that he arrives, I don't know, symbolically we may say, but of course it's taken literally. He rose from the dead, but there's also a sense of having, there's this idea of dying in order to live. It comes a lot in Christian theology, something which is sometimes said one has to do not just once, but daily. They're giving up everything in order to receive divine grace, something like that. So that's the celebration. When I was a small child, we just understood Easter as the day when there were Easter eggs to be painted and then hidden in the garden by, I guess it was my mother who would hide them, and then we would go and find them. Yes, and there were chocolate Easter eggs also. And that's pretty much what we understood about Easter. I guess the connection with eggs and rabbits, of course, these are things explained on so many websites, I'm sure, but I guess the idea with rabbits is they're very procreative. And it's springtime, and so that association is there with spring and renewal and so on. And fecundity. We have a quote from Avadhuta Rai saying, "For all lazy people, Jesus said, don't do anything before I come again." Okay. Good excuse to not do anything. Yeah, fecundity is of course very much a part of spring. We finally have a spring day today. So it may mean that finally spring is coming here to Europe. So that's nice. Oh, Dakshakanya Mataji is with us. Hare Krishna. Buenos dias. Dakshakanya.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Mi reverencias. I am working, but it's okay. I put the camera here.
Huh? Fixing the camera.
Okay. Here too.
Sí, bueno. Okay. All right. And we see that Saraswati is with us. Welcome, Saraswati. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Looks like you're in your car.
No, I'm in just one locale to go for one water, for water drink, because I had one. I'm always study, you know. And now I'm studying psychotherapy, and today I had instruction in university, so now I'm sitting here and I said, okay, I have to see my Guru Maharaj.
Okay.
And I'm very happy to see you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice. And I see that Lalitamrita is knitting.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Yes, I'm trying to do it, but
May we ask what you are knitting?
well, this will be a blanket cover for Giriraj, hopefully.
Ah, okay.
He only needs it 2 months in a year. Otherwise, I like to knit.
Okay, good. Right. Anyone have some show and tell for us today? Any news you want to share? Any wiadomości? Everyone's very humble and quiet. All right, I have something to share. I think
Guru Maharaj?
Oh, yes.
Sorry, Dharmagupta has something to share.
Oh, okay.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. So, just quickly, here we have a Ramadan month in full swing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very interesting atmosphere. People are like a fasting whole day everywhere. And it's like the whole country economy has adjusted to that thing. Everyone is working short hours for this month. There's no music in the malls. There's no, like, everything is like a more sacred kind of atmosphere. Everyone is observing. Everyone is like a very attentive. Everyone is they have a lot of like considerations to people who are fasting, and like the eating and drinking outside is not encouraged. You should like hide a little bit.
People feel a little embarrassed to eat outside.
Oh yeah, till few years ago it was highly illegal to eat and drink. It was like punishable by law to eat and drink during till like 2 years ago.
Oh.
So it was like all the malls, they have food courts covered, and all the restaurants are closed, and everything till moonrise.
Yeah.
So basically they have a Nirjala fast till moonrise every day for 30 days. And that's kind of interesting. So many Westerners are following just for, everyone is fasting, let's fast. So,
yeah.
Not for a religious reason, just for, like to take part in it, to kind of a challenge, kind of, I know it's very interesting atmosphere to how it, when certain group is following something, others just join, especially if it's like such a legally enforced, and it's really like a interesting atmosphere in a whole city for a Ramadan month. And
imagine we could get people to observe Ekadashi in a similar way. Like, oh, it's what everyone does. Everyone follows Ekadashi. Let's also. And then they would take the next step is, oh, everyone's chanting Hare Krishna. Let's chant Hare Krishna.
Yeah, also mosques are full, literally. Like mosques are that full that they like the whole parking in front of mosque is full, and across the road, people are like filled the area in front of the mosque. Like you have to carefully drive through. Everyone is praying. Like hundreds of people in front of every mosque. Like everyone, literally, like all cars are parked everywhere. Car parking is free for these few hours when it's a prayer time. So people just leave the cars everywhere. The whole city stops. It's like unbelievable. It's unimaginable for I mean, this kind of, it's not some rural areas. These are like a metropolitan city on the like a New York level, London level. It's really like
Dubai is big city.
Yeah. So that's amazing. Like how that like a Western culture meeting all this highly following Islamic tradition. It's amazing. So that often we are imagining, like we are in a, imagine that exactly as you said, Guru Maharaj, that everyone is going to the temple. So when there is a call for a prayer throughout the whole city and everywhere, so everyone is just rushing to the, mosques. So it's similar. We imagine like everyone is going to the temple and chanting and all these things. It's easy to imagine, how to say. It's not that far. It's just a different, religious practice. But generally, the mood is the same. The intention, the seriousness. They're so seriously praying there. They close their eyes. They're praying there like a rich and poor and in suits and in Pakistanis and everyone like standing next to each other, and everyone is like amazing to see the sight. It's so kind of inspiring for spiritual life. It's really like,
yeah, that's amazing, huh?
And I actually have one question related to that one, which is kind of came to my mind recently. They often, there's like a different discussion already and here and there, and they're mentioning the word which rings to mind, God-fearing. Why is God-fearing such a good virtue? Because they're considering God-fearing as a virtue, not only here, also in Christian tradition, in Judaism, everywhere. So can you please clarify what is so, because we are coming from like a Vaishnava background, which like there is no fear of God. It's like we practice in a joyful way, but for majority of population in the world, God-fearing is something good.
Yeah, my understanding is just it ties into the idea that God can and does punish if one does not submit, if one doesn't follow, if one doesn't, and in the Hebrew Bible, so-called Old Testament, what is it? God says, "For I am a jealous God." And he says, "You shall have no other gods, for I am a jealous God." So he can be quite heavy, and he punishes the Israelites when they don't follow his covenant. And so the idea is a good, like we say sometimes, it's good to have a healthy fear of Maya. So this is kind of the same idea, a healthy fear of God, of God's wrath, God's anger. That's my understanding, but there may be I don't know what the history of that expression is, fear of God, whether that goes all the way back into the Bible itself, or if it's something from a later tradition. Bhaktivinoda Thakur identifies 4 categories of religion, the lowest being that which is based on fear. And the next step up, it's based on hope. And the third level is religion based on a sense of duty. And the fourth level is that it's based on love. But if you would say that to, Christian, Muslim, that, oh, your religion is 4th class because you're fearing God, I don't think they'd appreciate that. And they'd probably say, no, you're oversimplifying. It's not fear in the sense that you have your idea of fear. I think they would say it's not fear in that sense. It's simply regard, and it's respect. we respect God as being God. And in that spirit of respect, we are attentive to his laws and so on. Islam is very much about law, divine law. The emphasis is very much on divine law and following the law. And of course, then they have different legal systems which they base on their scriptures, the Quran and later works. That's the main sort of mainstream Islam, but then there's the Sufi tradition, which was a kind of reaction to that, in a sense, reaction to that emphasis on law, because Sufism is it's more about experiencing God, and it's also accepting of help from the Sufi saints, from the peers and whatever they're called, which mainstream the extremely little I know about Islam, but mainstream Islam it's about law, and it's about emphasizing that there's no via media between you and God. So there are no priests, there are no, and of course, but then there are imams, and there are, it ends up that there are sort of via media. Because it's hard to sustain a religious tradition without
authorities.
Yeah, Catholicism is very much about having priests who are supposed to be representing Jesus. That's all I can say. Raso Dari Hari.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Guru Maharaj, I'm thinking about what Dharma Gupta and you said. What is the level, how to express myself, when some king pious or someone has to force people in general to surrender, like we see in this Lila of Narottam Das Thakura? I'm not sure, is it he or Srinivasacharya? There was a king who forced others to chant around, general mass of, or Ramanujacharya, who made a temple, with the doors that one has to fall down and then enter in the temple because people didn't, offering obeisances, something like that, In our tradition, how far we would go, like Prabhupada once said, you put the gun on their head and you force them chant Hare Krishna, like that. So will devotees in the future follow these suggestions like that?
I have to look in my crystal ball and see what happens. Hopefully it's not going to be like that. We want people to freely be happy to render service, not to be, because otherwise it's another case of fear, right? It's not love. And I think that would miss the point. Sometimes we may hear these stories. I think they have a certain polemic quality to them, and maybe expressing a certain enthusiasm. We always, when I first joined the devotees, the spirit was, we're going to conquer the world. if not in 18 days, maybe in 18 months, you know. I don't know what more to say about that. That's I wouldn't want to be involved in forcing people to do these things. I would much rather be involved in inviting people and inspiring people to follow principles of bhakti.
Could we say
this-
that was specific for that time? Could we say that that was like Middle Ages or specific time, place, and circumstances?
Yes, it might be. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I see one message here from Sinisha. A question. A complicated question, he says. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 2, verse 22, writes His Divine Grace. The writer of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita emphasizes with great emphasis that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Sri Krishna himself. He is not an extension of the Prakash or Vilasa forms of Lord Krishna. He is Swayam Rupa Govinda. How to understand this? Well, in the context of analyzing the different ways that the Lord expands, you mentioned Vilasa, Prakasha and Vilasa Rupa, and there's all these different technical terms. And that's all elaborated in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita of Rupa Goswami. So it seems like what he's saying here is don't think that Lord Chaitanya is just one of these various types of forms. No, he is the Lord himself. And the point is, you may say, well, but you know, he's not like Krishna. He's like a devotee. And that's exactly the point. He is Krishna himself, and being Krishna himself, you might want to say he can afford to sort of set aside all of his Aishvarya and just be a devotee. But just in this case means because it's the Lord, there's no devotee like him. He is showing what it really means to be a devotee. And so his appearing with this specific purpose is sort of the fact that, or the identification that he is Swayam Rupa, the Lord himself, underlines, it emphasizes, because he is the Lord himself, when he comes himself and shows what it is to be a bhakta, to be a devotee of the Lord, we can take that very seriously.
Yes.
You could say also that he is in the context of previous writings about Lord Chaitanya, which were identifying Lord Chaitanya as avatar, as expansion of Krishna of one type or another, or expansion of Narayan of one sort or another. I think all the previous, starting with Murari Gupta, and then Vrindavan Das Thakur, and I don't know, Kavi Karnapura's Chaitanya Chandradvaya Nataka, how he exactly identifies Lord Chaitanya, but Krishnadas, this is one of the special features. This is why Tony Stewart liked to say that the Chaitanya Charitamrita is the final word of all the biographers. He gives the final conclusion. Yes, he is so. Yes, Lord Chaitanya is so special. But why is he so special? Because he is Krishna himself, Swayam Rupa Bhagavan. That's what he wants to say.
Yes, thank you very much, Maharaj. The complicating is because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have also the eternal lila in Goloka Dham. So there are two forms then, Krishna and Chaitanya, and then
Yeah.
Then how we can say that is Swayam Rupa, you know what I mean? Because there are two forms, and only one can be Swayam, the originally. You know how I mean?
Yes, but that's what makes him even more so Swayam, is he can be both simultaneously. He is one that can simultaneously be these two forms. And of course, he can be all the other forms as well. But above and beyond all of that, he can be simultaneously Krishna in Vrindavan, and he can be Gauranga Mahaprabhu, sometimes described as being in Shvetadvipa.
Yeah, then I don't understand what means then Prakash and Vilash when all two are Swayam.
Swayam, yeah. Well, they're very fine distinctions, I would say. And I'm not sure it's so essential to have a detailed understanding of them. My sense is that what Krishnadas Kaviraj is doing and what Rupa Goswami are doing is they're just trying to emphasize there is one Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he expands in so many different ways. And if you say, well, what about this form? What about that form? What about this form? What about that form? Then he can give so many technical terms for them, yes, based on particular principles.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
That's, I'm just covering for the fact that this is not something I've really gotten into very much. Many years ago, I kind of tried to work this out. I made a whole chart even, and based on what's described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I don't think we had Laghu Bhagavatamrita yet. And sometimes it was a bit confusing. It seemed like there were, maybe more than one category would fit for the same avatar, and so on. So I didn't really get to the bottom of it all. And I just generally had that feeling that, well, what is the basic point? The basic point is there's unlimited forms. The example is, the analogy is given of so many waves, countless waves of a river. So the main point is that they're all having one single source.
Yes. Yes, it is a technical, some words are different and something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Right. Okay. Did I think I showed this already once, but I'll show it again for my show and tell. And that this book is now out. And I just got some copies of it here at Sadhu-bhavan, and apparently it's available now at Bhaktivinoda library services and so on. Krishna's Wonderful Form, A Guide for the Perplexed. That was the book that I wrote, well, starting pretty much when the COVID pandemic started. What to do in this situation? I know, I'll write a book. No, actually the idea came from Devamrita Swami. So he actually very much encouraged me, and so much so that he arranged for it to be published by the Australian BBT, for which I'm very grateful. Okay, good. Oh, Mangala Chandrika's given a link to the book. Yeah, it was kind of a fun book to write because I did it in the form of a conversation or a series of conversations with three inquisitive imaginary characters. We have, who did we have? We had Jake and his older sister, Angela. And then later comes, what's his name? He's from Bengal. Rabindra, I think. Rabindra, yes, Rabindra. Rabindra is a law student. And Angela is a physical therapist, and Jake is a university student in journalism. I created characters. And they're all very inquisitive and very thoughtful. And they always ask just the right questions for the Swami to answer. But they also have their own thoughts, their own reflections. They're not just asking questions. They're thoughtful people. Okay. Now, I think, speaking of questions, Darya Chandrika, I think you have a whole battery of questions that we're supposed to be always having answers for. What if we don't have an answer?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, we got many questions from devotees. And if you're for it, we can start with the first question.
Okay, I just glanced at your list. I think it's enough for the next 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But since Lord Nrsimhadeva appearance day is coming, so there's many questions about Lord Nrsimhadeva as well as about worshiping the deities. and something about personal question for you, which song you like the most. And but yeah, let's see how it will go.
Okay.
So the first mail which I got was from Dira Lalita Mataji, so I will ask her questions first. And the first question is there a difference in worshipping Lakshmi Nrsimha, Prahlad Nrsimha, and Ugra Nrsimha Deity? And then she explained a little bit. I was given an Ugra Nrsimha Deity a long time ago, but Kripamoya Prabhu told me that if I'm Grihastha, then I should be worshipping Lakshmi Nrsimha. So I put Ugra Nrsimha Deity to sleep and accepted Lakshmi Nrsimha Deity from Kripamoya Prabhu. And Guru Maharaj, if you allow me to add here, because similar question comes from Mayapur Leela Devidasi, she's asking about this Ugra Nrsimha Deity. What do the Shastra recommended for women who are single and for Grihastha regarding to worship the Ugra Nrsimha there?
Okay. I think we're already on the edge of what I can say authoritatively. Because asking for Shastric sources for these things, I don't know how much of this you could find in Shastra and what would be more sort of tradition. And which tradition? There's, so many traditions. Where this idea comes from, that Ugra Nrsimha should not be worshipped by householders, I can't say where it comes from. I do remember hearing it myself so many years ago. It might be a good question for Dhruva Prabhu, this devotee who is a kind of Nrsimha fanatic, if one can say, in a positive sense. He put together this book of this large format book of Nrsimha deities. He traveled around South India. I think he's maybe now again, he's traveling again, preparing his second book. So I think he's the one to ask those sort of questions. There is, this is maybe just a footnote, I came across this recently. There's a new academic book out about the worship of Nrsimhadeva in central India, in Madhya Pradesh. I haven't seen the book itself yet, where might take me a minute to find the title of it. Might be able to find, let's see. I'm just saying, I don't really know where this comes from myself, this idea. It's certainly, okay, I can say from my own little tiny bit of research way back in the early 80s when I went to South India to visit Nrsimha temples and try to learn something about Nrsimha worship. It seemed like Lakshmi Nrsimha was kind of the favored, let's say, public deity of Nrsimhadeva. And there seems to be a kind of association of Lakshmi Nrsimha with householder life, if you like. I'm trying to find, I thought I would have put this on my Amazon wish list. Pradyumna. No, I don't see it. Why not? Oh, here it is. The title of the book is interesting. It's called Hinduism in Middle India, subtitle, Nrsimha, the Lord of the Middle. Unfortunately, the book is a bit expensive. It's the hardcover is 85 pounds, and the Kindle edition is not much less. It's 76.5 pounds. But it might be an interesting book. Let's see. Some chapter titles. Historical Nrsimha from prehistory to present. Nrsimha in Middle India from Rig Veda to Ucchvasa. Lakshmi in the classical and regional tales of Nrsimha, gender and family. Nrsimha in Eastern region, Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. Nrsimha in Central region, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Telangana. Nrsimha in the Western region, Maharashtra and Karnataka. Nrsimha in popular culture, performing arts and devotional practice. And conclusion, Nrsimha in totality. So it seems to focus very much on specific geographical areas and how Lord Nrsimhadeva is worshipped in these different places. I don't know, there might be something in there about this point of who is worshiping which forms. Is that okay?
So difference could be maybe in the mood as well to worship Lakshmi Nrsimha or Prahlad Nrsimha.
Yeah, Prahlad Nrsimha, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of worship of Prahlad Nrsimha. There's Yoga Nrsimha, and that's, I remember Dhruva saying that there's the idea that Nrsimha is the Lord of Yoga. He is the origin of yoga. Yeah, different moods. Well, in general, what they told me and the priests told me in South India is they didn't tell me very much in detail. They just said the Nrsimhadeva likes to eat sweets. And otherwise, there are different prayers that may be more appropriate for one form than another. Otherwise, the way of worship is, can be very, and then it's just a matter of the mood of the worshiper, I would say. I can imagine householders having Ugra Nrsimha and having their own mood of worshiping Ugra Nrsimha that would be pleasing to Ugra Nrsimha. I don't know. Prahlad was worshiping Nrsimhadeva, and he was He was not yet a householder, but he becomes a householder. And I don't know that he worships Nrsimhadeva with Lakshmi, does he? Dira Lalita, your hand is up.
Yes, Hare Krishna, everyone, Guru Maharaj. If you don't mind, I would like to share a little confusion about the mood in worshipping Lord Nrsimha and the Nrsimha-kshetra, our Simhachalam, that we love very much. If that's okay, maybe a few minutes.
Yeah.
Well, that was in, I don't know what year that was, maybe 2003, 4, I'm not sure. Guru Maharaj asked me to go and help out with the worship and Simhachalam, and I went there. And there was I think at Pujari at that time was Amara Prabhu and Antaryami Prabhu. And I was, they showed me how to do puja for Chota Prahlad Nrsimha, which I really loved very much. I got very attached to him. But when I was dressing a big Prahlad Nrsimha, Deity, I found in the drawers of the jewelry and paraphernalia for Prahlad Nrsimha Deity peacock feathers. Mind you, before I came to the Nrsimha-kshetra, I was dressing Shri Radha Gokulananda at the Bhaktivinoda manner. So that mood, dressing Radha Gokulananda is a very sweet mood, and lots of flower decorations, and obviously as many peacock feathers as you can put on Krishna's turban and stuff like that, right? So I found the peacock feathers. I was thinking, yes, yeah, that's my Krishna. So I put peacock feather on Nrsimhadeva, right? And then there was Amara Prabhu. So, who put peacock feather on Nrsimhadev's head? Who was dressing today? And I was like, oops. I said, it was me. And he said to me, come later on and see me. And then he gave me all different elaborate explanation about Lord Nrsimhadev's mood and how we need to listen to certain mantras while we're dressing Lord Nrsimhadev, and that's not the same mood. And I said to him, okay, I understand that. I'll follow everything what you're saying, but just tell me one thing. Why do you have peacock feathers then? You know, I said I was alone in the morning dressing big Nrsimhadev. I just picked it because, you know.
There it was.
Yes. And he said, but that's not my fault. That's Akila Prabhu's fault. I keep taking them out of the drawer, and Akila Prabhu keeps putting them back. And I said, and I just came just after he put peacock feathers back in the drawer. He said, yes. So, and then I started thinking that how it's actually, you know, I cannot see Lord Nrsimhadev in different mood than actual Krishna who wears peacock feather. And is that wrong? Or, as you said, Guru Maharaj, we worship deities at home in our own mood that we have. So would that be wrong? I mean, to see Lord Nrsimhadev, even being Ugra Nrsimhadev, singing as Krishna, because I mean, please help me understand it, because that's how I feel personally. I can't feel different. Or if you instruct me to feel different, I may work on it.
You must feel different. No, I think how I would see it, if one day the pujari, you know, slips a peacock feather onto into Nrsimhadev's crown or turban, it would be like, yes, the Lord he is playful. And he plays in so many ways. And one is that he takes on many different forms to reciprocate with his devotees. One of his, he really gets angry, but he never loses his playfulness. And so he can sort of playfully remind the devotees, actually, I'm Krishna. And I've just come in this strange form because, for my own purposes. So I think that could be understood in that way. And Amara's mood, that's also nice, the mood that actually, this is Nrsimhadeva, and he's heavy and he's not Krishna and so on. That's also nice. So they're both nice in their own different ways.
And he told me, the next day when you dress Nrsimha, I will come and check. And if it's not right mood, you're not dressing anymore. I said, okay. So I was really trying to pray to, and he was happy with it. But the next day, but I don't think I had a different mood.
Okay.
I was dressing. I just didn't put peacock feather on.
I think Nandi Mukhi wants to comment because she also dresses Nrsimhadeva.
Thank you.
Nandi Mukhi.
Hi, Krishna.
Haribol.
We have peacock feathers. Actually, we have many now in the cupboard. And
Don't tell Amara.
And Amara came yesterday evening.
Uh-oh.
And I was dressed yesterday, and I put peacock feather on. I was making a turban on Nrsimhadev, and I could not resist, and I put one. And
There should be a GBC resolution against that.
And I think darshan, but he didn't say anything in the morning. It was fine. He was angry or anything. Yeah.
Say again.
Amara Prabhu, yeah, he had darshan yesterday evening of Nrsimhadev. He didn't say anything about
He didn't say anything. Well, maybe he's mellowing in his old age.
Yes, and we have a lot of peacock feathers now.
Okay. Yeah, that's, I guess, there was the whole peacock feather controversy about Lord Chaitanya. I won't get into that. That's kind of a similar thing. Right. Okay. Should we go to the next question?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Dira Lalita, if you want to, you can ask you because it's your question again.
Oh, well, I have written an email with questions. Does it have to be a question about the deity worship?
No.
No. Well, I will ask probably a question of just really a beginner in Krishna consciousness, and that is when we chant the holy name and when we pronounce Lord Rama's name. Is that actually a quality of Lord Krishna that we are calling out for, or is that a called Rama, a reservoir of pleasure, or is that is that Lord Ram as Krishna's different form of Krishna as appeared in Bhakra Yuga?
Or is it both?
Or is it both? Yeah, that wasn't my question, but yeah, it could be yes, that as well.
Yeah, we had this. Oops. This last Sunday, I quoted this in the Warsaw, the Warsaw temple. It's nice verse. Ra shabdoccharanadeva mukhan niryanti patagaha puna praveshanaviya ma shabdastu kavatavat. Merely by pronouncing the sound Ra, all sins fly from one's mouth. And fearful they might rush back in, that is, the sins might rush back in the mouth, the sound ma shuts it again like a door. Ra, ma. That's one explanation of the name. The other prayers or verses that are connected with this point to Rama, the Lord, as Rama, as Ramachandra, as Dasharati Rama. And when the question was raised to Prabhupada, so who is this Rama? Is it Ramachandra? Is it Balarama? Prabhupada's answer was, it's both. It's either, it's both. And yes, it's also Krishna, who is the reservoir of pleasure. So it's all three. And there's probably many, many more explanations as well. But those are the essential, the basic ones, I think.
Well, thank you so much. That's very powerful. Very powerful.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So names can have multiple referents and simultaneously be of the same person. Kind of like the point about Swami. He has so many forms, but he is the original personality of Godhead. And as I remember, it's in the Lagu Bhagavatamrita that there are three principal forms of the Lord. There's Krishna, there's Rama, and the third one mentioned is Nrsimha. Yeah. Now, it's interesting, though, to think about this. We talked about putting a peacock feather on Nrsimhadeva. Would we put a peacock feather on Lord Rama? Somehow I feel like we wouldn't feel inclined to do that.
No, because I think Lord Rama comes more as a carrier of Dharma.
Yeah.
But Krishna comes more as a in a more playful mood.
Yeah.
Even though he killed so many demons.
Yeah, Krishna is Lila Purushottama, and Rama is Maryada Purushottama, as they say. Yeah. Anyway, it's just interesting that we would consider putting on Nrsimhadeva, or we would do at times maybe, but maybe not on Rama. Krishna, Krishna. Okay.
Thank you so much.
So, all right, what else?
Okay, Harish, Guru Maharaj, in the chat, I noticed that Mandali, she wrote something beautiful on beautiful realization from Pankajangri Prabhu and Jananivas Prabhu. Yeah.
I remember when Jananivas and Pankajangri Prabhus were speaking about Lord Nrsimhadeva in Mayapur at the Academy. Pankajangri Prabhu said that Lord Ugra Nrsimha is in no mood to reciprocate with anyone because he just burst out of the pillar and he's thinking of killing Hiranyakashipu. But because he is in Sridham Mayapur and the main deity is Gauranga, he takes on Lord Gauranga's mood. Then Janani Prabhu said that when they were performing the installation of Lord Nrsimhadeva in Mayapur, he was a bit afraid. But then when the deity appeared in the Murti, he saw that the same person, Sri Madhava, appeared in the Murti and that there was no difference. And then he was pacified and happy. Very nice. Yeah. It's interesting, though, that Pankajangi Prabhu identifies Mayapur Nrsimha as Ugra Nrsimha because I understand technically he's Stalin Nrsimha, which is Nrsimhadev just after he appears from the pillar, before he takes Hiranyakashipu on his lap and disgorges him. But of course, it's all Ugra, it's all, yeah. So he takes on the mood of Lord Chaitanya. Interesting. because it's Mayapur. They say, who says? Maybe it was Janani and Pankajangi Prabhu. Before Nrsimhadeva was installed in Mayapur, they were having trouble with some of the local people. There were some conflicts with locals that broke out into some violence. There were some attacks on the temple or temple grounds. Some pretty serious things happened. It was one of these occasions that Bhakti Raghava Swami lost his leg as there was some shooting. After they had installed Nrsimhadeva, no more troubles. Everything became quiet. So that's nice. Okay. Nice photo of Nrsimhadeva on the chat. Rajamohini has sent quite a colorful outfit of Prahlad Nrsimhadeva. Before I forget, I wanted to also put in another promotion for writing for our book. What are we calling it? Mountain of Love. Especially those of you who attended our retreat in Govardhan. It is now April 8th, and there is a deadline. What is the deadline? It was the 15th. After the 15th, I cannot say if Rasodari Hari will be merciful to you if you send something after the 15th. I don't know. It just might be that he says, nope, not possible. You are too late. Forget it. He can be like that. So the countdown is on. Maybe we can have let's have a show of digital hands of who has not yet sent something, has not yet written something for this book, and who intends to send something, to write and send something. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. Oh, there's a few. Kavi Chandra. Yes, Kavi Chandra, may be difficult if you're busy translating, but thank you. I wanted to tell you, I really like your song. Kavi Chandra sent me a song that he wrote in praise of Govardhan yesterday. And he said that he intends to also sing, to record a song. And that got me thinking, and you, Kavi Chandra, might want to consider this. I mentioned the idea to Madai Jivan, and he liked the idea, and he would be very happy to help, that you consider making a music video. I think it would be could be really nice. And it could be posted on YouTube, and there could be a link which we could publish in the book, so people could go to that link and see the music video. Madai Jivan, has lots of material now from the retreat already, video material. So it wouldn't be so difficult, I think, to put something together.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So online. Yes. Why not? Yeah, I have also melody for this, but of course there is no recording. Actually I can sing also Mahamantra for the same melody, and I tried it already on open program we had 1 week ago in Wrocław, in club pod kolumnami, and I don't know, Mahamantra was not received so enthusiastically like this song to Radharaman, this Radharaman Kaho.
Oh.
Yes. I told people, I was citing you as you told in Kusum Sarovara about this song, that it's like inclusive song that says so many things about, no matter what culture you have or what you're thinking, or what are your convictions and what you wear, what you eat, what is your religion, etc. You just sing Radharaman. And Radharaman, I also told people that Radharaman is one of names that says that God is reciprocating to his worshipper. Yeah, so that was for people, that was very nice. And I had a project, I had slides, so I put the text on the screen, and people were singing along. They were not happy with Mahamantra, but all people were singing this song, Radharaman Kaho. It was amazing. Yeah, really amazing. So so I wrote a song that is maybe a bit similar in mood, because it's sung for Radharaman, but I'm placing in one moment Radharaman near to Govardhan, and also like person who is singing the song is also standing at Govardhan and is praying to Radharaman to be entirely his in some day. If you like, you can read it. If you, Guru Maharaj, this. Oh, I can read. I need to look into my account. Can't I have this text? Yeah. I asked some devotees to help me with the texts, because It's hard to write in language that is not my,
Yeah,
you know,
it's not your
I'm not
mother.
native speaker.
Yeah.
And I get some help from devotee who is in US since over like 30 years already. And he gave me some tips and I used them. Maybe I will post this song also on our Facebook group so devotees can help me with some suggestions. Because day after appearance day of Nrsimhadeva, there is a day of appearance of Radharaman, because that's the story. Like Gopal Bhatt was looking at Nrsimhadeva celebration of his appearance day, and he started to cry. Why I can't? Why Krishna can't appear from Shila like Nrsimhadeva appeared from Pilar, and why not, and he was in such a mood, like almost dying from this despair. And on the next day, voila, Lord Radharaman appeared from his it was Damodar Shila. Yeah, so just the same day or next day there is a celebration, and I think they have big festival in Radharaman temple on the day.
Yes.
Okay, so I have the text. The name of the song is Longing for Radharaman Lal and his devotees. His handsome body is deep black and shiny like a jumbled plum. A few folds on his charming neck. This is our Sri Radharaman. Big eyes flirt with the gopi girls, but looking for Priyaji's face, he wears a necklace made of pearls and bends Tribhanga form with grace. And now a refrain comes. Radharaman is staying in Vrindavan and playing enchanting melodies on his wonderful Murali flute. Radharaman is strolling by Govardhan, horn blowing, tending his cows and attracting all three worlds. And next stanza. He doesn't care about background, never mind color of your skin. He does not look at your ID, your gender doesn't bother him. Since he appeared to Gopal Bhatt, divine family cares for him, with such a love that rises up, to be again with them I dream. And then Radharaman is staying in Vrindavan and playing on his flute and attracting all three worlds. Radharaman, I'm standing at Govardhan and praying that one day I will become entirely yours. So that, I will not sing now, I have to prepare the recording.
Yeah, well, consider making a music video.
Yeah, okay.
Could be good.
I think about this. Thank you very much for bringing this.
Okay.
I was not prepared so much for this, but, and sorry for translators that I was.
Yes, our apologies.
I sent you.
Our apologies to those you're translating for.
Yeah, I have translation to Polish, but I will put on Facebook. Yeah. You can read it slowly, and you can translate by Google Translator, of course.
Yes. Now we're about at the end of our time, and I wanted to say that next week I'm going to be elsewhere. Odarya Janani is smiling. And I'm kind of doubtful that we're going to have a Saturday Sanga next week. The week after that should be okay. Where are we? Oh, the week after that is Akshaya Tritiya, very auspicious day for beginnings. So if you want to begin something important in your life, you can plan for 2 weeks from today. We'll see with next Saturday, but yeah, we can let you know. So I will say, have a nice spring day and spring week or spring 2 weeks, and chant and be happy. And they say in America, don't spend all your money in one place. Okay, thank you all. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Thakura Vrinda ki jai, Jai Gaur Premanande.
Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai Radhe. Slava okupljenim baktama. All glories to assembled